Chair. Thank you, Chairman, Dr. Mswele, and I want to thank the first questioner on how many people. I think when we started the journey of answering to the El Nino-induced drought, the President announced that we were going to cater for 9.2 million people in the rural areas. That was our synoptic analysis of what we believe were going to be the effects of that drought in the rural areas. Secondly, the President also announced that no one and no place will be left behind, and anybody who is hungry will be catered for. We then undertook an exercise in April this year to allow all the village heads to conduct assessments and write people who were in need of food. Of the 35,000 plus household village heads, they undertook this exercise and they came up with the figure of 6.1 million people. In between 6.1 million people and 9.2 million people, there still lies some people who we think will be included. How much, how many will get depends on now the analysis that is done at village level. When we started the first tranche, we distributed to 6.1. In this second tranche, we are now distributing to 6.2 million people plus. And we think that as we prepare for the third tranche, other people will be added on. Food insecurity deepens as the year progresses, and we hope that by the time we reach March 2025, we will be approaching the 9.2 million people that we are talking about. So we are telling every village head and those in the chieftainships and the headmanships, and assisted by all of government approach, to continue to write those who come on so that we don't have families that starve. In between our deliveries, if there are distressed families, we have ensured that each chief is 5 tons per ward so that they can answer to distress calls. And up to now, the chiefs have done that, but they have not exhausted what we allocated to them. So we are taking care of the distress calls, but we are also calling for increase in the number of those who are affected. I give figures of the chairman's constituency, but also the district where he comes from, in Makoni. Makoni is the largest district in Manicaland if you measure by the number of MPs. There are 5 MPs, and if you look at Buera, which is less than that, we are giving something like 208,000 people to Buera, but only 171,000 people in Makoni. So we believe that there is room for Makoni to increase the number of people who access that food. We did that for Bulilima, and we did that for Matopo districts, and they have now increased. And all districts are capable of doing that. In terms of whether there is food availability, when we started, the President signed for the food allocations to 9.2 million people, and we gave him the assurance through the Ministry of Agriculture that food for 9.2 million people will be available until March 2025 through a number of pathways. In other words, food that will be imported, food that is being grown either as wheat or traditional grains, and food that is maize. That food is available until March 2025. So we are catering for it. That is the number that we are dealing with. The urban cash transfer is aimed at 1.7 million people. We have finished the selection process, and there is a long process that we have had to engage in. First, we are going to give this as cash transfers. So we to select a network that would use in order to input cash in that network, and we selected Net 1 after a competition, and the ministry is now transferring all the people who have been selected and their phone numbers, so that we can now load the money that is coming from the ministry. That process is going on, and that's why in the presentation by the chairman, he said that is imminent. Some will definitely start receiving their money this week, because the loading to the networks has been going on since last Friday. I thank you for your question.
Thank you very much.